Simón Bolívar's abandonment of Peru in 1826 left a leadership void that would make for a turbulent 20 years. Liberal and conservative ideologies would loosely clash in a power struggle that would see almost as many constitutions as it would see participants. Peru's new constitutions would see over a re-establishment of the Roman Catholic Church with the privileges that came with it, but legal distinctions between Indians, mestizos, and whites would be outlawed. Slave owners were originally protected, but laws were in place for the system's death, banning international slave trade and declaring children born of slaves free. The chief executives overseeing these constitutions would be composed primarily of caudillos, wealthy landowners that differed from mestizos of humble origins with noble interests to white, rich landowners who simply desired power. They all had some kind of following, usually an illiterate army captivated by their personality and charm. There would be nearly 30 caudillos within the next 20 years. The new government quickly undid Bolivar's reforms. Power would constantly shift. President Agustín Gamarra was a notable caudillo of his time simply because he lasted a 4-year term, crushing 17 rebellions to do so. Another notable caudillo was Andrés Santa Cruz, a capable leader who became president of Bolivia and called upon his Inca roots to bring back an empire like that of Tupac Amaru, bringing back Bolívar's vision of a united Peruvian-Bolivian empire in the style of a confederation, appeasing many, which would be proclaimed October of 1836. After a Chilean-led takeover dissolving this union, a period of unthinkable confusion and multi-sided civil war involving Ecuador, Bolivia, and Peru would soon ensue. And in 1844, General Ramón Castilla would come out the victor. This period would leave Peru in economic shambles. Hurtful tariffs, declining infrastructure, contracting labor supply due to conscription, and a loss of old markets and international credit are just some of the factors that would leave the former City of Kings irrelevant at the world stage. It was not only whites that suffered. Natives were significantly worse off. Although Mita would be removed and they would be referred to as Peruvians instead of natives, discriminations and other institutions would rise under different names. A new class of yeoman whites would soon take up large parts of native land, with little they could do to stop them. The departure of experienced Spanish administrators would have dire consequences. 60% of revenue went to the military, and basic services such as schools and police were not provided, leaving citizens suspect to highwaymen and outlaws. Belittled in war and incapable of governing itself in peace, Peru was left humiliated at the world stage before Castilla's entry.
On February 17, 1844, Ramón Castilla y Mercado was named 34th President of Peru. Under Castilla, Peru underwent vast changes in its economy, government, and Latin American status. In 1847, Castilla organized a contract between Peru, the Montana Company of Paris, and Anthony Gibbs and Sons British Trading Company for the right to sell and distribute Peruvian guano. The contract established a clear relationship whereby foreigners would provide loans and advancements to Peru in exchange for the right to sell guano in foreign markets. The trading paradigm continued for 20 years, enriching Peruvian coffers and funding expansions of the military and infrastructure. Guano production also led to the importation of 100,000 Chinese laborers between 1840 and 1880. Chinese laborers usually worked alongside poor Africans and convicts in processing guano. And fundamentally, Peruvians did not accept Chinese immigrants and harbored anti-Chinese sentiment towards them. In 1851, Castilla completed his first presidential term and was succeeded by José Rufino Echenique. Departing from the practice of his predecessor, Echenique established a heavily conservative administration and secretly paid back foreign bonds before domestic debts. Echenique also reduced tolerance of political dissent and freedom of speech. This, coupled with other unpopular policies, led to a bloody liberal uprising in 1854 that ousted Echenique and reinstated Castillo. In Castillo's second term, he originally applied liberal policies. He maintained the abolition of slavery, removed the Indian tribute tax, and paid for the release of thousands of indentured servants. For his efforts, Castilla became known as the Liberator. In 1856, the Peruvian Congress adopted a new constitution that transferred power to the legislature and reestablished departamental juntas. The constitution also abolished church tithing, made primary education free, and reduced military power. However, this heavily liberal constitution soon led to the right-wing rebellion. Subsequently, Castilla moved Peru along a moderate path. In 1860, Peru established a new constitution that restored powers to the executive and applied safeguards to it. This constitution would last 60 years. Under Castillo's tenure, Peru's military and regional status also grew. Castillo reorganized Peru's army and navy and reopened its national military academy. He also modernized Peru's military and built military facilities. This proved beneficial when in 1857, Peru fought Ecuador for control over disputed Amazonian territory. Peruvian guano also restored Peru's financial credit and allowed Peru to loan money. This was important in 1856, when Peru loaned money to Costa Rica to fight the forces of William Walker. That same year, Peru helped pass the Continental Treaty of Latin American countries, which unified many Latin American countries against foreign threats.